Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another predictions video. And in today's video, I'm be doing my World Cup predictions. If you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, just to clarify, this is the Football World Cup predictions where I'm going to be going from the group stages to the round 16, to the quarterfinals, to the semi-finals, to the third place playoff, and then to the final. And so we'll start off with Group A, where I think Netherlands will win, Senegal will come second, Ecuador will come third, and Qatar will finish last in the group. And so Netherlands, of course, is a powerhouse in the group. I mean, I don't think they're going in with Wijnaldum, so that's going to be a bit of a loss for them because he was impressive in the Euros. But they've got the likes of Daniel Marlin, Anna Van Dijk, and Depay, and so some good options there, and the Dumfries. They're all good options, and I believe they'll be able to get out of the group relatively easily in first place. And then Senegal, of course, they've just been announced, I believe, a day or two ago, that Mane will not be in the competition, and so that is a big loss for them. But they've still got the likes of Koulibaly and other creditable players, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But they have got a good squad, and I think in the group that they're in, they should be able to get out relatively easily. Moving on to Group B, I've got first place being England, second place being Wales, third place being America, and fourth place being Iran. England, I think, should be able to relatively easily get out of the group. I mean, they haven't looked great in the lead up to this, so I mean, you can't really expect too much, I suppose, but realistically, we should get out of the group. And then Wales, I think, will be a bit of a dark horse in the competition. I don't think they're going to go crazily far, but I think they'll be able to get out of the group and look good in the group because, I mean, USA, tough opposition for anybody, and I believe USA are going into the tournament looking with their best looking squad for a little while. To be fair to them, they've got some good players in there, and so I think Wales and USA will have a good battle. Moving on to Group C, I've got first place Argentina, second place Poland, third place Mexico, and fourth place Saudi Arabia. Argentina, of course, they've got the likes of Messi still, and some other creditable players as well coming through. They've got the likes of Gomez. He's a great player playing for, I believe, still Atalanta. And so I believe they'll be able to get out of the group relatively easily. Poland, of course, is a tough ask for anybody. They've got, of course, Lewandowski, who is a proven goal scorer and will be a tough ask. And, of course, I believe Szczesny's there as well. And so that's a good goalkeeping player. And so I think Mexico could possibly sneak second, but no, I think Poland should be able to do it. Mexico always seem to do well in the World Cup, always seem to put out a good test in the group stages and sometimes get into the round 16, but I don't think this World Cup will be their World Cup. Moving on to Group D, I've got France, Denmark, Australia, and then Tunisia. I think France should be able to boss the division. With their team that they have, they should be able to win the division relatively easily. Denmark, I think they looked very good in the Euros, and if they can carry on that through, they could be another team to be forced to be reckoned with in the World Cup, and I think they'll be able to get out of the group as well relatively easily. I think Australia and Tunisia aren't really going to be two great teams looking to go that far in the tournament. I mean, I don't think they'll get out of the group, but it's nice to see Australia in the tournament because they haven't been for a little while. I can't really remember, but at least they weren't in. From what I can remember, they weren't in the last one, and so it's nice to see them back in the tournament. Moving on to Group E, I've got Spain, and then Germany, then Costa Rica, and then Japan. Spain, I think they're going to be a very tough team to beat. Obviously, they don't always have the best of teams, but the teamwork and their possession-like football is a very tough kind of style to break down. And so I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Of course, as well as Germany. Germany, I don't think are looking too great going into the tournament. I mean, Werner is back scoring again, so that is something for them. They've got, of course, Havertz, but I don't think they've got a proven goal scorer in the tournament. And so I don't know how creditable their attack's going to be. But they have got the likes of a Rudiger and a Ter Stegen in goal. Neuer, of course, it depends if either of them's in goal. And of course, I think they'll be able to get out of the group. And I mean, with Costa Rica and Japan, I don't think they're going to put up too much of a threat against the likes of a Spain and a Germany. Moving on to Group F, I've got Belgium, then Canada, then Morocco. No, Belgium, then Croatia, then Morocco, then Canada. I think Belgium should be able to win the group relatively easily. Of course, they've got a great team, And if Lukaku, depends if Lukaku's going to be playing that much. I don't know if I'm sure he should be a starting player if he's fit and healthy to play. So because of course he is still a great striker, he's just not been scoring as many goals as of recent. So that could be an exploitation that Croatia or Morocco or Canada could exploit. But I still think their team is too good to be stopped already. I would like to see Leandro Trossard getting some good game time in that team as well. And then Croatia, of course, they've got a good team as well. They did very well in the Euros, from what I can remember. And I mean Modric and trying to think of other players. They've got other good players like Brozovic and Mandzukic if he's still playing. I don't know. I think he might have retired actually. But they've still got a good squad, and I think the likes of a Morocco and a Canada can't really catch up with them kind of players. Moving on to Group G, I've got Brazil, then Switzerland, then Cameroon, then Serbia. This is a underrated group, I'd say. I think it's a pretty tough group. I think Serbia, Cameroon, Switzerland, they're all possibly could come second. Cameroon always seem to do well in the kind of group stages of the World Cup. They always seem to turn up. But I think Switzerland should be able to get through just about. I think that would be another second place battle, which I would like to see. And Brazil, I think it should be relatively comfortable for them to be able to get out of the group. Moving on to Group H, I've got Portugal, then Uruguay, then Korea Republic, and then Ghana. I think Uruguay versus Korea Republic will be a tough matchup. And then Portugal, I think, should be able to get through relatively easily. But I still think this is a pretty tough group as well. But yeah, that is all of my group stage predictions. Moving on to the round of 16, we're going to start off with Netherlands versus Wales, which I think Netherlands should be able to win realistically. I think it will be a tough game though. I don't think it will be as easy as what certain people might see it as. As like I've said, I think Wales will be a bit of a dark horse in the competition and will be a tough team to play against. And then Argentina versus Denmark. I think this will be another tough game, but I think Argentina will just be able to nick it and then go through to the next round. And then France versus Poland. Another, of course, tough game, but I think France should be able to do it. I think that's probably the easiest game so far for one team, in my opinion. England then versus Senegal, of course, another tough game. All these are going to be tough game. There's no point in me saying this every single time, but I do think England will be able to win. I don't know how tough it will be, but I believe that England should be able to win. But of course, it could be an England thing to do to lose that. Then Spain versus Croatia. I've got Spain. Like I said, I think Spain are going to be a very tough team to beat. And somebody like Croatia, I don't see them having the force up front to be able to get past the Spain defence. Then Brazil versus Uruguay. I've got Brazil. I think Brazil, of course, another force to be reckoned with. And I don't think the Uruguay team is that strong to be able to beat a team like Brazil, and so I think Brazil should be able to win relatively easily. Belgium versus Germany, a big tough game, and I think Belgium will win. I think it will be close, but I think Belgium will win if all the players are on form, like the likes of Courtois is going to have to be looking amazing in goal. And of course, De Bruyne, Trossard, they're all going to have to be performing. Lukaku, if he is playing, he's going to have to be performing. And I think they will just be able to win. But I think that will be the game to watch out for in the round of 16. And then to finish off the round of 16 games, Portugal versus Switzerland, in which I think Portugal should be able to win relatively easily, realistically, depending on what team they play. I don't know who's going to really be playing too much for them. It could be interesting to see who's playing up front. I mean, if Ronaldo's not playing that much, then Andre Silva maybe, that could be a good option, but we'll have to wait and see what goes on with that Portugal side. Moving on to the quarterfinals now, we're going to start off with Spain versus Brazil, a very tough game with two teams which definitely could have gone and won it if they don't play against each other, but I think Spain's going to win it. It would be tough. I think Spain's going to win it though. It's close. But I think Spain might just be able to win it. I don't think the Brazil defence is amazing. I mean, they've got Edison, of course, and Thiago Silva, which I suppose is two very good defenders. But I think Spain should be able to win. I can't say should. I think it'll be a very, very close game. And definitely a game which is one that I'd be hoping will happen. And then Netherlands versus Argentina. I think at that point Argentina probably out of their depth a bit. I don't think their squad is good enough to be able to beat the likes of the Netherlands. and so I think Netherlands will be able to win. Moving on to Belgium versus Portugal. Like I said, depending on how well Portugal are playing, sometimes Portugal are amazing and sometimes Portugal struggle to get going at times, and so I think Belgium will be able to win that, go on into the semi-finals. And England versus France, I've gone with a bold shout. I've gone with an England win. Maybe that's probably my bias, and of course I suppose prediction is just a bias thing anyway. But I think England will be able to win. It will be a very, very tough ask. I don't really have a complete reason to back why, but I do just think England will be able to win and progress into the semi-finals. Moving on to the semi-finals, we've got the Netherlands versus Spain, and at that point, I think Spain's gonna win. It'll be close, but I think Spain will be able to win. I just shouldn't say should for any of them, but I think Spain will win. And then England versus Belgium. I think Belgium are going to win. I might get some hate from England fans for saying that, but I think Belgium will win. I don't think that England will be able to beat somebody like Belgium. I don't think they'll be able to go from France to Belgium and be able to win both games, because that is a very, very tough ask. And so I think Belgium will be able to win, and that will knock out England, which is a shame. But yeah, I think that would be probably the case if I'm being realistic. And then to move on to the third place playoff, Netherlands versus England, I'm going to go with a Netherlands win. Yeah, I'm probably going to get some more hate from England fans, but I mean, France, Belgium, the Netherlands as a run of 3 games is terrible, really. It's very tough. I mean, Argentina, Spain, and England for Netherlands isn't really much better. But I think Netherlands will be able to win that. I think by that point the motivation for England, and it does seem like England run a lot of motivation, and I think the motivation and the energy for England will have dropped by that point, so I don't think they'll be able to win the third place playoff, unfortunately for them. And then to the final, Spain versus Belgium. I think Spain will win. I think Spain are going to win the World Cup. It's arguably a bit of a bold shout. Of course, I mean there's a great team, and I just love the way that they play, and obviously the team on paper isn't crazily strong, but it is very strong as well. And so I think that Spain will win the World Cup. I think their just whole team cohesiveness is just amazing, and so I think Spain will be able to win versus Belgium. But that is a very, very good final and a very good run of games throughout the whole of the World Cup, which means I'm very excited for the World Cup, which I'm sure everybody watching this will be. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I probably will be revisiting these predictions at some point. Well, at some point at the end of the World Cup, just to see how well or how bad I did. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.